Good morning. Welcome to Hamilton Hills. Good to see everybody. How you doing this morning? That's good. Wow, you guys are energetic. Small but mighty. It's good to see everyone. My name is Matt. If I haven't had the pleasure of meeting you, I get the privilege of serving as one of our pastors here. And as people come in, I just want to start us off. First of all, if you're a guest with us this morning, thanks for being a guest with us. If you look in the seat back in front of you, there should be a connection card. There's also a QR code that you can scan that, and that's a digital connection card as well. I'd love to be able to get to know you. If you do fill out the connection card in the seat back in front of you, you can hand that in and get a gift at the end of the service in our lobby at our Next Steps table. This is a little bit different of a Sunday. This is our Next Generation Sunday, and so in just a moment, we're going to have all of our shepherds and pastors, directors in our generational ministry, and we're going to get to hear from them in just a moment. But the moment that you've all been waiting for, we're going to get to hear our children sing some Christmas songs together, and so I can't wait for that. Can we give them a hand as they walk in? Come on in, guys. They are definitely veterans because they already sang in the first service, so now they're bold. They're ready. Got a couple of my favorites here. I don't have any favorites, but a couple of them here. Hey, Collie, how you doing, girl? Good to see you. All right. Hey, how we doing, Samson? Good to see you, buddy. All right, come on in, guys. By the way, watching them in the first service, there's several of them. I can see the gifting. They are definitely ready to be worship leaders eventually. Hey, girl, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, that's awesome. Come on in. By the way, anytime in the service, if you feel the need to step out, we have a family room out to my left, your right, where all the kids are coming out now. There's a family room, and our service is live streamed throughout the entire time. And so, any parents, you need to wave at your kids. All right, here we go. We have some parents. Here, look, kids. Yeah, get your waves out. See, there's one right there. There's a couple back there. All right, good to see you. You guys mind if I sing with you? Wesley, can I sing with you? All right, dude. All right, he said no. That's my kind of man. That's probably a good choice. We have also, if you have not registered for our Christmas Eve services, we have 4 of them, and you need to register. We are just about sold out or at limit, if not already from the first service. December 22nd, that is Sunday night. There will be no Sunday morning services, but we do have a 5 p.m. Christmas Eve service. That same service will take place on December 24th at 2 p.m., 3:30 p.m., and 5 p.m. So please register. You can do that by going to our website, hamiltonhills.org. If you go to the website, it should come right up as a place to register. There's a little pop-up window that comes up if you go to the website. And then also, after the Christmas Eve services on January 5th, our first Sunday back in action. Let's do one more before that. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this one, but December 29th is our online service, what we call our virtual Sunday. Actually, don't go to that. We'll get to that at the end. I'll talk about that later. We want to hear the kids. We don't want to hear me. But also next series on January 5th, starting the brand new year, we're doing the next chapter in the Into the Storm series called Strength in the Herd. It is the next chapter. It's about community. I promise you won't want to miss. Are you guys ready? Can we give our kids one more hand? Let's hear them. You ready, guys? You ready, Shelby? All right, she's ready.
Oh, that was awesome. That was awesome. I'm going to go ahead and ask you all to go ahead and stand. They're going to help us lead this next song. Is I Thank God. And it's awesome to say that we thank God because look at what's going to be leading us in the future. Wandering into the night, wanting a place to hide this weary soul, this bag of bones. And I try with all my might, but I just can't win the fight. I'm slowly drifting a vagabond. And just when I ran out of road, I met a man I didn't know, and he told me that I am not alone. You picked me up, you turned me around, you placed my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because you healed my heart, you changed my name. Forever free, I am not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God. Cannot deny what I see. Got no choice but to leave. My doubts are burning like ashes in the wind. So long to my old friend, to burden and bitterness, you better keep it moving. No, you ain't welcome here. From now till I walk the streets of gold, I'll sing about you, save my soul. This wayward son has found its way back home. You pick me up, you turn me around, you place my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, you healed my heart, you changed my name. Forever free, I am not the same. I thank the Master, I thank God. Lost another one. I am free. I am free. Oh, I am free. And here lost another one. I am free. Hey, I am free. I am free. And here lost another one. I am free. I am free. Oh, I am free. And here lost another one. I am free. I am free. Oh, I am free. And here lost another one. I am free. I am free. Oh, I am free. And here lost another one. I am free. I am free. I am free. Here lost another one. I am free. I am free. Oh, I am free. And here lost another one. I am free. I am free. You pick me up, you turn me around, you place my feet on solid ground. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, because you healed my heart, you changed my name. Forever free, I am not the same. I thank the Master, I thank the Savior, I thank God.
Woo! Good job, guys. Awesome. Come on, guys, let's give him another hand. That was awesome. Let's go. All right. You guys can go ahead and be seated. I hope you took your pictures. There's a couple good ones. Hey, Case, can you come here for a sec? I'm going to show off your sweater, and don't show them yet. I'm going to show off your sweater. Here, turn this way. Turn this way. Don't show them yet. All right. Keep going, guys. There's nothing to see here. All right. This week, we're going to do a generational Sunday. And, let's go ahead and show them. All right. Best sweater right here. Merry Christmas, you filthy animals. That's right. Right here at Hamilton Hills Church, you heard it first. Isn't that awesome? This week, we have a little bit different of a Sunday. We're going to get to hear from our awesome generational ministry team. It's taken about 2.5 years for us to put this, actually about 3 years to put this team together. And so we are a growing church, but we're also a church that we kind of take pride in this, that we are a multi-generational church. So you're going to see young people. This is our next generation, and they are awesome. Let's give them one more hand as they walk out of here. We had some parents that stuck around from the first service. Good job. So for this year, go ahead, Cody, why don't you come on up, and Ryan, why don't you come up? I think Claire may take a second and go ahead and set up the stools. Yeah, oh, there you are. Sorry. She's the best. Easily forgotten, but the best. Just kidding. That's terrible. I did not say that in the first service. I said much more nice things. We are a multi-generational church. It's on purpose. And because of that, I know that there's some sacrifices that our older generation has made for our younger generation, maybe in preference. But also, I want you to be able to, the next generation coming up, we are also wanting to be sacrificial, and we're wanting to make all of us work together in tandem as a community. And so about 3 years ago, we started a hiring process. And for a church our size, we have actually a pretty large staff for our generational ministry. Usually a church our size has a children's director pastor and a student director pastor. And so we have also a middle school pastor, Ryan Lopez, who's our newest hire. Yeah, I heard some people start to clap. Yep, that's good. And so I wanted to be able to sit down with them and you this morning and just spend a couple of minutes explaining our generational ministry. Some of you, you've got young kids, and they're about to level up maybe into 5th or 6th grade, or maybe you've got a 5th and 6th grader in a couple years. They'll be in 7th grade. That's a little scary, isn't it? I know, too, as a parent, I can join you in this. I've got a 9th grader. As soon as you feel like you've got it figured out, they grow up and they add a whole big diverse plethora of things that they just throw into the mix and like, oh, you thought you had us figured out, and then they grow and they change. And so it takes a community. It takes a family. It takes a church family for all of us to get in this together and do this together. And so I'm going to ask each one of them a couple of questions. One, to start off, is just give us a little bit about your ministry and the vision that you have in it. Like what makes you passionate about being a director and a pastor here at Hamilton Hills? And tell us how long you've been on staff too.
Yes, yeah. So I am coming up on 3 years. It'll be 3 years on Valentine's Day, actually.
Wow. Happy Valentine's Day.
Right? And so our kids ministry is babies all the way up into 4th grade. We have really 3 key pillars that we focus on back in HH Kids. The first one is we are teaching biblical truths. So we do something pretty unique here at Hamilton Hills, where what you are learning in the service, the kids are also learning back in HH Kids and HH 56. So myself, Ryan, Pastor Matt, and Pastor Scott get together, talk about each of the sermon series, each specific Sunday, what's going to be taught. We talk about how we can tweak that a little bit for kids and what that looks like age appropriately for them. But ultimately, what you are learning in here, those biblical truths are also being taught back in the kids wing, which is really awesome. And it's been fun to hear from families of, hey, they get in the car and everybody knows what you learned that Sunday. So there's lots of good conversations that are happening there too, which is awesome. It's been fun to see.
Yeah, I have like literally a story of this happening. About a week ago, there was someone I was meeting with in my office, and we're talking about something that they were going through, a storm they were going through, and they're like, you know what, actually it's been great, is we've been having conversations about this storm that we've been going through with our kids on the way home from church. And that was a blessing for me to hear, because that is by design. We actually spent a lot of time in prep for each sermon series, but also in prep to make sure that our generational ministry is aligned with what you are going through as a family and what you're learning as a family. And so please have those conversations, right? At the dinner table on the way home. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun to hear those stories too of the kids taking what they've learned and applying it to their lives at school. I had a parent tell me a month or two ago about their little one talking about oikos, and their neighbors are in their oikos. That's something I know we talk about here in service, but back in kids a lot. Who's that front row of people that are in your life that you can share Jesus with them? And he was in the basement. Her son, he's 6 years old. He was in the basement with their neighbor, and he asked her, "Do you know Jesus?" Flat out asked her, and she said, "No," and he just went on to tell her who Jesus was, and ultimately gave her the gospel at
That's
6 years
awesome.
old, which is so cool. But
That's great.
yeah, just so awesome to see them take what they're learning back there and being bold in their faith too at such a young age is just so cool to see. That second pillar is we take pride in that your kids are safe and they are loved back there. I have the absolute best team. I see many of your faces in here now. But they love your kiddos. They truly love being back there, love serving them, love holding the babies, love getting down on the floor with the toddlers. They love digging deeper with those elementary kiddos, but they absolutely love it. And then we have a safety team back there that is walking around during the service, locking certain doors, just being kind of the eyes and ears around the church, just paying attention to what's going on so they are safe and loved back there. And then third, we are wanting to create an environment that is engaging and interactive, that your kiddos want to be back there. They're having fun, they're loving it, they're learning, but they're also back there with their friends and having a good time. So like today, they're learning, it's the third week of their Bible verse, and they're playing a basketball shooting competition if they get their verse right.
Awesome. So there we go. See, we're a holistic church, physical and spiritual.
Yes. Keep them active.
If you get a scholarship, by the way, your kid gets a scholarship, we should be getting some credit for that
Yes.
In basketball. Just kidding. Oh, also, what's cool is to especially part of the community and the environment, the culture that's back there. I was able to experience that 2 weeks ago. One of our other teachers was teaching, and so I took an opportunity, walked out, and went down our children's wing, and I got no further than the very first room on the right, which is where all the littles, all the babies are at. There was 12 babies. By the way, stop having kids. It's unbelievable. No, it's great. Keep having them. Be fruitful and multiply, Genesis 1. And when we walked through on the right-hand side, I just walked in there. There was 12, at least 12 to 14 babies.
Felt like that at least.
Yeah,
don't know
well,
if it
I
was
can't
that
count
many,
more than
but-
my fingers,
You
so
did
it was
grab a
over
little
10.
one he did grab a little one that was crying
Yeah.
and walked him around. That was sweet.
It was awesome. Such a great environment. There was several team members that were in there holding babies, and then walked down in the children's auditorium. They were praising and worshiping, and there was energy. It was high energy. I just absolutely loved it. So if you're a grandparent in here and you have kids here, obviously, or grandkids, that's great. But even if you don't, maybe your grandkids live somewhere else, I hope it encourages you as a grandparent that you are a part of a church that is a multi-generational church that is reaching the next generation. And by the way, Claire Ray is the best children's director anyone could ever hope or dream for. We absolutely love you to death. Awesome. And then Pastor Ryan, who is probably our newest hire, does our 5th and 6th graders, our middle school pastor. He also wears a couple other hats. His ministry is so unique, and I want Ryan, you to tell us a little bit about that uniqueness. But he is the bridge between 7th through 12th grade, Pastor Cody's ministry, and Claire's ministry. So he works very closely with both ministries in that transitional period. Tell us a little bit about.
Yeah,
Yours.
newest hire. I've been here on staff 6 months, but me and my wife, Kirsten, have been attending for almost 2 years. And the 5th and 6th grade age is an interesting age. They're like not really little kids anymore, but then also they kind of are. And then in a couple of years, they're going to be teenagers, right? So it's like this weird middle space that is just so interesting, but it's so fun. And when I first started here, one of my mentors was telling me, he was like, Ryan, these kids kind of think they know all the Bible stories. They think they know what you're going to say. Oh, we know David and Goliath. We know this and that. So make them think a little bit harder, you know? And so I received that, and I think one of my number one things in terms of the vision of HH56 is going deeper in the scripture and going deeper in our relationship with Jesus. And I say that because I think these are very formative years. Life is getting a little more real at this age, and so I think Jesus needs to be more real to them.
That's good.
So going deeper with that. And then number two is just building a community for them here at church, having friends, having leaders. My team is awesome. We have leaders that act as mentors and leaders to them, so that's awesome.
How many leaders would you say you have in HH56?
7.
Yeah, 7
Seven
leaders.
of them.
Awesome.
Most of them were in the first service.
Yep.
And one example of a good time we really it felt like a very good bonding moment was our missions day, where we all went to the Hope Center in September. The 5th and 6th graders and the students we were picking these chili peppers from this huge field, and we were basically harvesting them for, I don't know if that's the right word, but
It is.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay, harvesting them for local restaurants, local businesses, and the proceeds would go back to the missions. And so we were out there picking chili peppers all together. We were having fun. Some of the kids were eating the peppers and burning their mouths. And then they were like, "You eat one." And I was like, "Okay."
I do think.
So it was
I think
super
my daughter was a part of getting some of the 5th and 6th graders.
Yes.
She's in 9th grade. She was like, "Here,
Absolutely.
try this."
Absolutely. But it was really fun. And then the next day was Sunday, so we got to come back and talk about, hey, why did we just do that? Why did we just pick a bunch of peppers all day? And talked about the importance and the significance in serving together. So that was just a very fun time of community as the HH56 squad. So yeah, number one, just going deeper with Jesus. And number two, giving them a community here.
And speaking of community, we got a picture of, not up on the screen, but my wife got a picture from someone on his team. Just had their HH56 Christmas party.
Christmas party.
And you had how many?
30 kids.
30
It was good. It was
kids.
a
Isn't
good
that
time.
awesome? 30 5th and 6th graders. Some of you just got nightmares, didn't you? You're like 30 5th and 6th graders in one room. It's awesome. We have a great team, young team, and full of life. And thank you for doing what you do, Ryan. So yeah, someone else want to, go give him another hand. It's great. By the way, Cody and Ryan share an office together, and so we do have 2 pastors, but nothing ever gets done. Usually when I walk by, they are having too much fun in the office, but last service they were hitting each other on stage. Like literally
Not hard.
punching.
Not hard.
Yeah,
We're not-
playful.
Playful. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was playful.
It was
Yeah.
like motivational. Like
Yeah,
kind of like this.
Like I got you. Yeah. See? Yeah, that's awesome. So, Cody, tell us a little bit about that 7th through 12th grade and your vision and kind of how it connects to 5th and 6th, HH56.
great. Yeah, I'm Cody, and me and my wife have been here for just shy of 2.5 years. Time has basically just flown. I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't.
Had 2 kids since
Yeah,
then.
we've had 2 kids in that amount of time. We moved here while being pregnant with our first. We have a second, another son, so we have 2 boys, and he is 3 months old, and time has just been flying. I don't know, sometimes you can have both. It feels like really slow in this area, but really fast. It just feels really fast for me, I'm not gonna lie. But it's been an amazing 2.5 years, and I'm super grateful for it. I'm also really grateful for the ministries that come before that are leading and coming together with you parents, because I get to actually see some of the fruit that they are some of the seed that they planted. I get to receive some of that fruit personally, because a beautiful example of that was just recently this past year. We went to summer camp, and we kind of strategically set it up to where the incoming 6th graders going into 7th grade would have time to go to camp soon after they join students, so that they can really get involved, get comfortable with the student ministry and HH students. And just during that week, one of those incoming sixth graders going into seventh grade, she decided to continue in her obedience to Christ and follow in baptism for that
Awesome.
week. And
That's great.
as a student pastor, yeah, that's wonderful. So as a student pastor, I've been told, and it's been said to encourage me, but I've been told, like, Cody, be patient because you won't see a lot of the fruit that you've planted. You might not see some of that until many years later when that one or two kids texts you or calls you. But at the same time, I do get to see it, and I have a lot of thanks to you, and first and foremost to you parents that are raising your kids to know God, and that kind of goes into the vision of HH Students, and that is our purpose. It's to remind ourselves and the students that they do have purpose in Christ Jesus always, and that is their number one. And we want to come alongside the parents in this room. Allow us to do that, please. Continue to do that. You do it so well. Thank you for allowing us to pour into your children. I know that's a huge thing for you to be willing to do, so thank you for doing that. And be as involved, to just throw this out there, be as involved as you want to be with the student ministry and with your kids. Be as involved. This isn't like, okay, you leave them alone. You can be involved. It's okay. We love that. We love your involvement. But we want them to come to know God, to fall in love with Him, and to choose to follow Him. And then as we do that, once they have received that, and as they start their journey, faith, or continue in their faith journey, hopefully, we want them to learn to serve and to reach their oikos, those 8 to 15. We say oikos here a lot. Their 8 to 15, their classmate, teammate, family member, friend, neighbor, a neighbor that lives near them, to encourage them to serve them and to reach them and to love them as they receive the love of Jesus. And then from there, simply to invite them to continue in following Jesus together for the rest of their days, hopefully well past HH Student Ministry time. And that is the general vision for HH Students.
You talked about getting involved, and so it kind of leads me to one of the questions that we had talked about previous. So, like, how does someone get involved? And I kind of mean that both ways. Like, how does someone get their student involved, and how does someone themselves get involved in that ministry? If they go, man, I'm not sure I'm cut out for kids ministry. I'm not sure I'm cut out for student ministry. What does that look like? Do you only take a certain type of gifting? Do you only take teachers or small group leaders, or what does that look like?
Yeah, there's actually there's a lot you can do within the ministry, and I think that's the same for each one of us here with our ministries. The way that you would get involved, simply hamiltonhills.info is a way that you can get involved in any of the ministries. If you go on the website there, it's called Dream Team. Dream Team Sign Up. And you just scroll down just a little bit, Dream Team Sign Up, and that will send us emails. That'll contact us of your interest in serving, so on the serving side. And then if you are a parent and you need information, you're like, I don't get the emails or whatever, reach out to me, my email, cody@hamiltonhills.org, and I will add you to that parent email list. That's my main mode of communication.
It's once a week for you, right?
It's once a week.
Once a
So
week.
you're getting consistently what we are teaching that week, what is going on, and that's how you can get involved.
We don't always get to announce from the stage everything that's happening in the student ministry and the children's ministry and H56 and in women's ministry, men's ministry. If we did that, we'd have 15 minutes of announcements every week. So it really is important if you're wanting to get communication. That is the best way to get communication from the students. And then Claire, you've also got like about every other week.
Yeah, about
email?
every other week. I have an email that goes out for HH Kids, lets you know what they're learning each week, upcoming events. My email list is a little bit unique. You have to use this QR code right now to get signed up on that email list. Or you can email me at claire@hamiltonhills.org and let me know if you're not receiving those emails. I will say for me personally, if you come up to me on a Sunday and say, you're not receiving emails, I'm going to forget by the end of the day who came up to me.
She's like me. Yeah, I like
There's
it.
so much happening back there. So shoot me an email. That's the best way to get a hold of me. But yeah, and there's also a QR code on the back of your seats. That is one way you can get signed up for if you're interested in serving. But so many different ways.
If they scan that QR code, what Cody was saying, that takes you to hamiltonhills.info.
Yeah.
And then you scroll down and you can, if you want to join one of these teams,
Yeah.
you can do it that way.
Yeah, but so many ways you can serve in kids. We have a greeting team that's welcoming people as they're entering in the mornings.
Safety.
We have a safety team, We have obviously people that are in with the kiddos too. We have, they're working with the babies, holding them. They're getting on the floor with the toddlers. They are diving deeper with those older kiddos, opening up Bibles, that type of thing. And I have people that serve once a month, every other week. I have some people that are just on like a sub list. If someone's sick, I can shoot you a text, and that's really every other month type thing. So there's a lot of different ways you can serve. And I always like to say, along with this, is that you're not signing in blood. No one's making you do this for the rest of your life. I promise. You don't have to.
But there is a penalty if you break the contract.
We won't tell you what that is. No, but I love having those ongoing conversations with my team. I always want this to be something that you enjoy doing, that fills your cup when you're coming in on a Sunday. And if there's ever time that you need to step away and take a break, absolutely, we make that happen too.
We also, our church ranks in the top 5 cutest kids in Hamilton County
That's
Church.
the thing.
And so, yeah, it's pretty amazing. And we were in the bottom 20. And so I want to thank some of the new people that have joined. You've really, joking. I'm joking, everyone. I don't know, maybe not. Okay. Yeah, so I lost where I'm at.
Well, I just wanted to explain, similar for me, parents, if you're not on my email list, I do the similar thing to Cody, just updates for Sundays and events. Just come find me, and I'll just add your email to the list. And then if anyone wants to serve, HH56 is every Sunday, second service only for now, and it's in the student center. And yeah, so if you like a little bit of adventure and challenge, a little bit of chaos in your life, I'm just kidding. Super fun. But yeah, come find any of us if you're interested in helping out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also want to talk about some big dates that you guys have coming up in just a moment. But before we do, I was able to serve in generational ministry. I was a children's pastor. I was also a student pastor, and then also served in college and career ministry for about 12 years collectively. And I always wanted someone to be able to serve me up with this question, to be able to talk to the parents. So I'm going to serve them up with something that I wish I was able to say is guys, if you had one thing that you could tell the parents in here that has to do with your ministry, what would you want to tell them? How would you want to encourage them?
Yeah, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to do 2 things.
I already knew this was coming. We did this the first service. I told her in between services, don't do 2, only do 1. But she does whatever she wants.
He
it's all good.
didn't say that. So first off, I am a parent. I have 3 littles. I know what it feels like to be new to a church or to have your kids be crying and not in the moment want to go back to the kids' wing. So I've been there, and I just want to reassure you that your kids are safe and they are loved. Truly, truly loved on back there. And I want you to be in here and to enjoy the service and to learn and grow with your community. So they are safe and they are loved on back there. And then next, it's kind of like a common thing with children's ministry, a lot of ministries too, is we have only 52 hours with them a year. And yes, we do everything we can with them. We try to make the most of that time, but the reality is it is only 52 hours. It's a short amount of time. So my challenge for you parents is you have to step up. You have to create those habits as a family where you are spending time together, spending time in the Word, whether that's you're cuddling up with your little ones at bedtime, when you're tucking them in, you're reading a Bible story together, you're praying together as a family. Whatever that looks like, start those habits at a young age with your kiddos, and then it can just continue to grow and flourish as a family too.
That's good. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, to go off that, similar to Claire, I would just say, especially with the 5th and 6th and middle school type age, make sure Jesus doesn't become just a once a week thing. Make sure Jesus and his presence and that practice of that becomes an everyday thing in the home. I just think that's really essential, and especially because, like I mentioned, these are really interesting years. They're growing up, really formative years. This is also kind of a year they're, like I said, growing up, so they're getting exposed to a lot of new things, and I do think there's a lot of evil out there, to be frank, and I know this is the kind of that 5th and 6th grade age is, I believe is statistically the age kids are exposed to pornography, and I think it's getting younger and younger as time goes on. So just being aware of what else is influencing your kids, like what are they watching, what are they listening to, but like I said, if you are making sure that Jesus is an everyday thing, I think that is what's going to be really essential. Because at the end of the day, I think, we love your kids, we believe in them, and I just think practicing that is going to be really big.
Yeah, if I could just have all you parents just listen to this for a second. What Ryan just said is super important. Everyone in the world, everyone in this community wants your child's mind. They want it because they know that if you influence the 5th and 6th, and even start a little bit younger, also Cody's age 7 through 12, if they get the mind of the next generation, they own the next generation. They own them. And so don't you think that if we believe that the enemy is real, that he doesn't know that, and he is on task. His main task is get the next generation, and I will own the next generations. And so please listen to what Claire and Ryan are saying here, and I'm sure what
Oh,
Cody's
no, don't
gonna
listen
say
to
as
me.
well.
Don't listen to me.
Yeah. Go ahead, Cody.
Yeah, it's funny. On yesterday, we had a little bit of a run through, and we hadn't really talked about too much like what we were going to actually say to this question. And we start with Claire, and when we're doing it, and then she basically said what Ryan and I were going to say in a way, and we're both kind of like, "Dang it, what do we do?" Which is a good sign, actually. It's good that we were all on the same page. But no, just to kind of go off of what they were saying, maybe just saying it in a different way. But I would say prioritize. As a parent, prioritize spiritual growth over everything. And even more so than that, though, prioritize your spiritual growth as a parent first. Prioritize God first in your life. And don't try to go backwards and try to like get them to do it and get them to follow Jesus when we're not being the examples ourselves. I mean, I was just challenged with that a couple days ago. We have a 2-year-old, almost 2-year-old, and he's getting a little bit of a power struggle with the screen time. And my wife is unbelievable with screen. Like, she is so good at limiting. Like, he does not get a lot at all. But just from the little that he's gotten, man, when he doesn't get it, and I love you, Dax, I love you so much. I'm being that preacher that's using their kids as an example. Oh, no. No, in all seriousness, though, he's kind of throwing those fits, and me and my wife were, like, talking in the evening, like, what do we do about this? What do we need to do about that? And it basically came down to, of all the ideas that we had, it's like if we're not modeling it for him and he sees us on our phones all the time, or if he sees us not doing it ourselves first, it's not going to change him, and he's not going to, even at his young age, it's not going to connect. It's not going to make sense for him. So prioritize your spiritual growth as a parent, and from that will flow the love of Jesus and the wisdom that you need, and and the decisions you need to make in loving your wife and loving your spouse, loving your husband, and in loving your kids and rearing them to know God and to love him too. So.
That's awesome. Thank you, guys. Give them a hand. Real quickly, before we jump off here, let's give them some of the big dates that we got going on. Claire, you got one, and Cody, you got one.
Yeah, we have June 16th through the 19th is our HH Kids summer camp that's happening. It'll be 9 a.m. to noon. So take a picture of that, write it down, schedule your summer plans around it.
No, for real.
Really
Do it.
excited. I do actually have people asking me already when it's happening.
Absolutely.
So
Yep.
I'm not that much of a planner in my personal life, but that's
You're
okay.
good. No, you're good. Cody?
Oh yeah, we have the one big event that I encourage you to just mark on the calendar is June 28th through July 2nd. That is HH Students Summer Camp. That is so big. Like I said, it's Claire mentioned the 52 hours of the week. For me, it's summer camp is literally all that time in that 1 week is as much time as I get then when the leaders get with them the entire year. So it shows how much relational time, especially, we get to have in building that trust with the students in Hamilton Hills Church. And so please mark that on your calendar, save the date. Don't forget about that. And also, you're going to get this, so I'll try not to explain all of it, but big change. Right now, the HH students, we meet on Wednesday evening. In January 26th specifically, we are going to be strategically changing that evening to Sunday evening. Sunday evenings from 5 to 7. So it's no longer going to be Wednesday from January 26th, but there are going to be some changes and some unique things going on leading up to that in the month of January. So please, especially if you have teenagers, parents, we are going to have some of our students actually, they're going to be handing out some HH student calendar pamphlets, handouts. And
Manifestos.
they're going to have every single date through the last week of March for you, so you know exactly what's happening each week, because there are some date changes and some time changes and some unique, cool things that we're going to be doing leading up to January 26th.
So, so essentially, we have this right now. Over the last 2 years, our church has exponentially grown. And with that have come some younger families, some families with students. And so we have all of these students, teenagers that have been coming to our church that have either come from out of town or come from another place of worship or have been de-churched. And so getting everybody to meet each other and being able to really honestly start from scratch with our student ministry, because we've grown, we want to do this. We want to take our Sunday, our student ministry, and move it for 1 month to Sunday mornings during the second service. Yep. And what this will do is allow your students to not only be able to be a part of some things that we feel like we could come alongside of you as parents, some things that you might be trying to live out or teach them, things about pornography and about screen time and about being able to hear God's voice and some subjects that we believe your students need. We're going to do 4 weeks in January. 3 weeks? 3 weeks leading up to that final week till we move to Sunday morning. So, second service, students 7th through 12th grade. This is going to be a chance. We're going to have some fellowship, some community things, so you guys get to know each other, and really looking forward to all that. So, more information about that in the coming weeks. Also, if you're not on the HH student email list, please see Cody or email him, cody@hamiltonhills.org. Can we give them a hand? Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. And then this is the time of year where I get to talk about our budget. And I know in some churches, you know, it might be like a little bit discouraging time or a boring time. I get really excited about our budget, and I'm not an administrative type pastor, I'm a relational type pastor, but I get excited because this is a lot of hard work and vision and planning that's gone into 2025. In order to do this, we start at the very beginning, which we are an elder-led church. So basically what that means is we have 5 men and myself, 5 laymen in our church that act as an elder team. To explain that, there's portions of it where they operate as a board, but they also operate as the spiritual direction of our church. And so everything we do as a church is done by the guidance, the spiritual guidance and direction of our elders. And we installed this process just about 5 years ago. It was actually during COVID. We actually had our very first meeting socially distanced. That was really weird. And now we're coming up to where we're trying to add some more elder people on our elder team, some men in our elder team, and also transition some people out. And so we have 2 new elders that we want to put up for an affirmation process. In our Constitution and bylaws, we have a 2-week affirmation process, so we'll put their names up. In fact, I'll go ahead and put the first person's picture up here. This is Jamie Buning and his family. Awesome family, been here for several years. If you don't know Jamie, if you're like, I don't recognize him, it's probably because he's been serving all the way in the back of the house. That's usually where he's at. Super awesome guy, awesome family. Been coming for about, I think, like 6-7 years. You may recognize some of their kids serve on our worship team. Just an awesome family. Also, Tim Miller. Tim and his wife, Kirsten, and their beautiful family as well. So this is the process for that. For the next 2 weeks, we're going to be available. Our elders will be available. Our staff will be available. If you find an issue with these men spiritually guiding and directing our church and being a part of the board process of our church, which means they vote on the budget, which means they vote on the pastors that we bring on staff. They hold me accountable on everything. And also on top of holding me accountable, they serve alongside of me. They are my family. They are my team. They are my brothers. And just an awesome group of men. And so for the next 2 weeks, we'll let you guys communicate to us if you find an issue with this. And then on January 5th, we'll do an affirmation vote here at our church to start off the beginning of the year. And that leads into the budget. So I'm going to quickly go through our budget. If you have any questions, you can email Kendra at hamiltonhills.org. She was here in the first service. I don't know if she's here for the second service. If she is, she'll be out in the lobby. But here's our budget. Our budget for this year, and it's a pretty large increase, and I'll explain some of that here in just a moment. But our church staff, if you've noticed, that is by far the largest amount. And here is what we have done. We have hired now a full staff. So if you've been here for the last couple of years, this is a larger number, but it is because we have added about 3 new staff members, Ryan being our newest staff member. And we try to do well by our staff. We try to pay them well. We want them to be able to practice oikos, which means we want them here in Hamilton County, here in Fishers, being able to live and survive here. There's a lot of churches, even in our area. The way that they pay their pastors is they have to go kind of live outside of the city of Fishers, and we want them to be practitioners. We want them to be a part of our community, not living outside of our community. And so by the way, this is the national average for church staffing as well. Operational and ministry expenses, you can kind of put those together. That is the operations of how the church operates. That's the light bill. That is the ministry expenses. That's crayons. That's paper. That is anything that you can imagine that goes into an operational ministry expense. Kendra Hayes is our operations director. She has done such a great job of getting this cost down. One of our staff values is we are scrappy. And so we try to be as scrappy as we can with every dollar, every cent that comes in that is given. And if you remember, if you've been here for the last year, we were in a vision campaign where we paid off our debt. And so we are a debt-free church. We have no debt, 0 debt. And that has been because many of you have not only given to the vision campaign, but you faithfully give and you have made generosity a part of your worship. One of our family values at Hamilton Hills is generosity happens here. Part of generosity is giving. And so I want to just encourage you that if you are not participating in worship through generosity, to do so. And yes, do it here, but I'm talking about anywhere. If you're a part of another church, you're just here because the kids were singing and you're a part of another faith community, please give. This is how the kingdom of God expands. This is how the work of God gets done. If you go to church here and you don't feel comfortable giving here, I would say this. I would say find a place to be generous. Find a way to be an outlet of generosity. It's not because the kingdom of God or Hamilton Hills needs your gift. It is because you need to be generous for your soul. Your soul needs to experience generosity. We are not going to beat around the bush here. We don't try to encourage you to give because we want you to be prosperous, and if you give $1, you'll get $2. You may have been to one of our services where I say this: if you give $1, you'll lose $1. Okay? If you give $1, you might not be able to afford the big house or the bigger car. God does not promise in His Word in any way, shape, or form that if you give $1, you're going to be rich. It does say rich, but it means your soul will be rich. It means you will understand the importance of generosity. It means you'll have a kingdom perspective. It means you'll have joy added to your soul. And those that do not practice generosity will not have joy. I can promise you that. That is in the Bible. And so we want to be a church where generosity happens here. We are a giving church. And this is reflected in the fact that we paid off our debt. We're not trying to build a bigger building. We're giving that money towards missions. And so you'll see our missions and outreach budget is $227,000 projected for this year. Go ahead to the next slide. You can see the progression that we've made in the last several years. 2021, we had $86,000 budgeted. We gave 87. 2022, budgeted 76, gave 85. 2023, we budgeted 100. So you can notice that the budget has gone up every year, but we've also given more than what's been budgeted every year towards missions. That is because of you. That is because of your worship through generosity. And so can we thank God this morning that you get to be a part of a church that is a generous church? Thank you for doing that. 2024, 118,000, and then this year, right now, given to date is 116. We are projected to surpass our budgeted amount when it comes to missions as well, just for this year. And then in 2025, you've noticed that has jumped up considerably to $227,000 budgeted for missions, and that is because we have paid off our debt, and we are moving that money towards missions, which gets us to 17% of our budget. So that's not the 20%. That's not the 20%, but we want to this year, if God will allow, and we are faithful with our generosity, what we want to be able to do is at the end of 2025, give again over our projected amount to get to the 20%. And guys, I want us as a church to be able to high five each other, our community, but give glory to God at the end of 2025 and be able to say 20% of what came in went back out. That would be an incredible feat. And not that any other church is the bar, but the national average is 3.5% of a church's budget goes towards missions. And so we are a church that is wanting to be on mission, and generosity is a key to building the kingdom of God. Your generosity is important. It's important for your soul, but it's also important for the kingdom of God. Go to the next slide. Next slide shows, here's our 10 partners. We want to always be between 8 to 15 ministry partners. So never over 15, never under 8. That kind of goes along with the oikos principle. If you're new here, we believe everybody has an oikos, meaning you have a bandwidth of relationship for the front row of your relationships, 8 to 15 people in your life. We also want to have a bandwidth of our missions relationships. So we want to be able to keep track of and be a part of and be connected with all of the people that we support, not just have 100 people that we support and not know what any of them are doing. We want to have a relationship. We want you to know that when you give, here's what you're giving towards. So what we've done, you've noticed maybe when you walked in this morning, we have a missions corner that is coming in 2025. We've got the TVs up. That will show, and you'll be able to go every week and see our ministry partners. There'll be video that will be updated regularly of what is happening in each one of these 10 partnerships that we have. And then next slide, this is last, to continue your giving or to start your generosity journey. 4 ways. You can do it through online, the app, mail, or giving boxes. Okay, so Christmas Eve services coming up. We're done. Thank you, guys. Can we give our generational team another hand? Really excited about this. December 29th, we have our online, what do we call it? I always forget. Virtual Sunday. Thank you, Mark. He knows. You want a job? Our Virtual Sunday. And this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity for you and your family to worship together, but also spend some family time together while still being able to be a part of our services. This also gives our staff that give 150% during our Christmas Eve services a chance to rest and recuperate and come into the next year, 2025, strong. So here's a video right before we dismiss talking about our Virtual Sunday. Hey, church family. On December 29th, Denise and I want to invite you to join us for Virtual Sunday.
December 29th is also our 17-year anniversary, so I love that we get to have a Virtual Sunday together that day.
We'll be baking cookies together. And so as you leave today, make sure that you grab one of these jars. On the jar, there'll be a QR code.
A QR code, a recipe. So all the dry ingredients are in this jar. It's 1 per family unit, and pick them up after the service on your way out. Everything that you need to know will be attached to it.
Yep, the QR code will lead you to a landing page that will have a countdown for our Virtual Sunday, so you won't be able to watch the video until December 29th. This way you can enjoy church on your couch with your family, enjoy the holidays. Can't wait to see you for Christmas Eve services. Okay, you're going to be dismissed. I just remembered, in the last service, we had so many of these given away. I think we're going to have enough for everybody. If you don't get one during the office hours, Monday through Thursday, if you will come up here or if you'll contact us, we'll make sure that you get one. But we had a lot of people take more than one when they found out this was my mom's recipe. They were like, we're gonna take 2 or 3. I don't know what happened, but I hope we have enough for everybody. They're gonna be out the doors here and just to your left. Okay, you are dismissed. See you back here at Christmas Eve services. Make sure you register.